Thank you all for joining us in this Veterans Day program. Hear their names, honoring the Berlin service members who have died in combat from the Revolutionary War of 1775 through the Vietnam War that ended in 1975. If any of you wish to extend your observance of Veterans Day in the company of others who have attended this program, you are invited by the staff of 19 Carter to adjourn to their welcoming environment to enjoy informal discussion of today's events after this event. Before we commence, I'd like to acknowledge the contributions of many Berliners who have made this tribute possible. Reverend Misty Gunn Shelley, pastor of this church, cordially invited us to bring our gathering into the warm environs of the sanctuary. It was going to be about 42 outside at this time, and we thought it would just be more comfortable in here. Lori Fairbay, layout artist extraordinaire, has created highly visible flyers you may have seen posted around town. James Wheeler, seventh generation member of the Wheeler clan who have run Cornelius Farm since before the Civil War, has agreed once again to end their ceremony with the playing of taps. Bob Rainville, commander of the Berlin American Legion Post, who was posting the colors you see in the corner over there of this room. Roger Bradley of the Berlin Cable Committee and a Marine veteran of the Vietnam War is recording this program for later broadcast. And of course, our three readers of names. Jane Sawyer, in the middle, long-time treasurer of Berlin's American Legion Auxiliary and daughter of one-time Berlin Legion commander Ellsworth Guy Sawyer. Marshall Tate, a Berlin resident and Army veteran of the Vietnam War era. And A.J. Moses, a Berlin resident and Army veteran of the Vietnam War. I'm Bob Blair, a Berlin resident and Navy veteran of the Vietnam War. Each of our readers will say the names of a third of the fallen and note the conflict in which their lives were taken. A single toll of the church bell will sound after each name is read. Who are these citizens whose sacrifices we honor here today? They are names on a plaque, like those you see on the entry hallway walls at Berlin Memorial School. They are photos in a gallery, like those you see in the Memorial Hall and our 1870 Town Hall across the street. But once, they were our living sons, daughters, mothers, fathers, cousins, neighbors. Like us, they had jobs as farmers, teachers, carpenters, cooks, shoemakers. They, like us, had dreams of raising their families, doing good works for others, caring for their elders, and then called to military service to overcome our oppression by foreign powers in the Revolutionary War, to preserve the union of our country and end the scourge of slavery in the Civil War, to fight a vicious war in Europe against fascist armies in the war that was supposed to end all wars, to fight again in Europe and Asia to defeat fascism in the Second World War, then again in Korea to stop the spread of communism, and again in Vietnam and Southeast Asia for the same purpose, and more recently in the Middle East to contain forces bent on forcing their religious ideologies on others. They fought with grit and determination in horrific theaters of action, and they died, never to return to the lives they so cherished at home. Today, we say their names aloud, not to glorify war, but to remember that the freedoms we have are not free, and that we owe an unpayable debt of gratitude to those who made the ultimate sacrifice to ensure that we might enjoy those dreams and aspirations which they too held dear. Hear their names.
Revolutionary War, Timothy Bailey. Charles Hudson. Civil War, James Barry. Ezra Bartlett. Edward Bigelow. George Bowers. George Carter. William Florence. Nathan Garfield. Silas Goddard. Lemuel Gott Jr. C.S. Hastings. Thomas Hastings. Alonzo Howe.
Continuing with the Civil War, Silas Johnson, Hollis Johnson, J.N.P. Johnson, Charles Maynard, Tyler Payne, Thomas Rathburn, Henry Rich, Samuel Snow, Charles Stockey, Homer Stone, Lafayette Warden, Rufus Williams, Watson Wilson, from World War I, C. Sumner Woodward, H. Wallace Woodward.
World War II, Alfred Barter, Thomas Bartlett, Harry Bosselman, Robert Ryan, Joseph Collins, Albion Hallett, Lawrence Harper, Edward Ross, Charles Sanborn, Harold Subtel, Stanley Sedgwick, Maurice Zucker, Vietnam War, Richard Brandt, George Blankenhorn.
This concludes our memorial ceremony. May our departed brothers and sisters in arms, here and wherever they are interred throughout the world, rest in the peace they strove so mightily to bring about, and which they so rightfully deserve. Thank you.